So with today's session, we have a mindful movement session, and I'll just give you a few rundown because I have seen some new names on there. So I'll just give a quick little rundown. My name is Ben. I am a C7 quadriplegic for the last 15 years, and I've been doing fitness classes for the last 10 years, and with Gathering Strength for probably about 5 years-ish now. And we've been doing lots of different types of exercise classes, but this one today is a mindful movement session. With that, it basically means we are going to be relaxing, moving, breathing in a nice, gentle manner. And all I want you to do through this session is do the best that you can. If you need to take any breaks at any point, please feel free to do it. You don't have to do it exactly as I'm doing it. I'm just here to guide you the best I can. For those who I can see on screen, I'll be trying to give advice along the way that may apply to you. For those who don't have their camera on, that is not an issue. You can keep that camera off. Don't worry too much. But if you do have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can always reach out to me. Best to do it towards the end of the session, or if you send an email over to Liz or Lacey, they can pass that on to me and I can help you on an individual level. But remember, these are your sessions, they're not mine. I'm just here to guide you the best I can. Good. With that out of the way, let's move on to the session itself. So get yourself in a nice comfortable position, however that looks for you. And we can start with some nice deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And over the next couple of breaths, keep that going. Start to close down your eyes and just focus in on that breathing. Notice how your body reacts as you breathe in, how the chest lifts up, how it expands, the shoulders go back slightly. And notice how it is when you breathe out as well. Notice how the shoulders relax back down, the shoulders sort of come forwards a little bit as well. You might crunch a little bit forwards. And just notice how it is as you're breathing in and breathing out. And just a nice controlled pace here. We're not looking to go fast or slow, we're just nice controlled breathing. Just bringing that focus into the breath. Starting to block out the noise around us by focusing inwards. Notice how it starts to calm that nervous system down. Brings that energy down within your body and just starts to relax you. Keep that breathing going, but whilst we're in this relaxed state, let's first of all thank ourselves for being here today. Often turning up is the hardest part of the session, so if you've got that out of the way, you have done a great job by being here today. So thank yourself for being here. But now we are here, remind ourselves that we need to stay focused on the next hour here. Focused on the breathing that we're going to be doing, focusing on the movement and everything else that we do today. We've got nothing else to worry about in this hour apart from the things that we'll be doing. So everything else can wait for us at the end. Keep that breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice and controlled, steady breathing. When you're ready to, you could start to open up your eyes. And as we do the breathing now, I want you to shrug in as you breathe up. Breathe in, shrug up, breathe out, relax down. So breathe in, shrug those shoulders up, squeeze the muscles nice and tight. And as you breathe out, relax it down. And again, just in your own time, however long it takes you to breathe in, that's how long it takes you to breathe in and shrug the shoulders up. However long it takes you to relax and breathe out, do that. Okay, keep that breathing and shrugging going, but we're going to have our arms down to the side if you haven't already. Shrug up, breathe out. And again, link it with your own breath. Don't worry about however long it takes me to do the breathing, however long it takes you to do the breathing here. Good, keeping that going. But now what we're going to do is keep the shrugging going, but we're going to have our arms out to the side, or at least the best you can, and then still shrug up as you breathe in. Relax down as you breathe out. So some of you may find it difficult to have your arms out to the side. If that's the case, just have a bit more of a bend in your arm. Just try and keep those arms elevated the best that you can out to the side. So however that looks for you. And it may be that you can do a couple and then you might have to switch to bring those arms in, and that's okay as well. We're all different levels of ability here, different stages on our fitness journey, so we'll have different abilities, and that's absolutely fine. It's just doing the best that you can do with this. Good. We're going to continue that, but instead of out to the side, we're going to have our arms up, or at least the best we can. So if you can have your arms above your head, shrug up as you breathe in. Relax it down as you breathe out. And again, you can have your arms up or just slightly down or even further down, but just try and keep them elevated the best you can as you're doing this breathing. And I want you to focus on lifting the shoulders up rather than bending the arms up. So it's shrugging up and relaxing down. Notice how my elbows there aren't really moving, but the shoulders are. And what that's doing is teaching us some nice scapular control. Good work. And if you need to take a break at any point, you can put your arms down, then bring them back up again if you need to. Yeah, let's relax it down there and go into some shoulder rotation. So nice, gentle rotating, either forwards or backwards. It doesn't matter because we will be changing in a second, but nice, gentle rotations. You don't need to go massive circles with this. Just get them going around, nice and controlled and relaxed. That's what we like to see. Excellent work. Just nice, easy circles. And let's do that in the opposite direction. So whichever way you were going, switch up now. And just move it around just like so. Good work. Okay, what we're going to do now is bring our hands together in a prayer position. We're going to reach up as best we can, out and around, and then down to the middle. Now, if you can go all the way up and around, that's great. But if you can't, just do the best that you can here. So if that's just coming up in front of the face, just above your chest, wherever it is, just bring those hands together, reach up the best you can, out and around, and then back to the middle again. And if you want to add a little bit extra in here as well, as you bring those palms together, try and keep those elbows together the best you can. As you reach up, try and keep them together all the way up, or at least so you can. You'll naturally find they want to separate as you do that. And then just out and around, nice big circles. Good work. And with this as well, if you need to, you can just do it the one arm. Whether that's you need support or whether you've not got one shoulder that's, it might be hurting, or you might just not quite have the ability in it to do that. Whatever it may be, if you need to do these things single arm, that option is also there. Especially if you haven't got great balance, you may find one arm you can get a little bit more range of motion with just one arm. So if that's the case for you, that's absolutely fine. Good. Let's reverse the direction now. So come down, out and around, palms together at the top or the best you can, and then bring it down. If you can do the full range of motion, that's great. If not, if it's just coming up in front of your face or in front of your chest or wherever it may be, let's do the best range of motion that we can do. If you're not already as well, let's do the breathing at the same time. So breathe in as you bring the arms up and around. Breathe out as you bring it down through the middle. Good work. One more here. Good. Okay, we're going to do a similar thing here, but instead of going up to the above our head, we're going to come out to the front. So we push both hands out and then around the best we can, back to the middle, almost like we're doing breaststroke here. So push the hands out to the front, out and around, and then back to the middle. And again, we can do a smaller version of this, especially if you struggle with those hands out in front of you, or we can do a single arm variation, which you can either alternate between one arm and then the other, or if you're only using one arm, then you can do it just using the one arm. But just whatever you can do here. And link that breathing in as well. So I like to breathe out as I push out, breathe in as I bring it around. Good. Well, let's try that the opposite way now. So bring it out and around, almost like you're giving someone a big hug, and then bringing it in close. Come out and around, and bring it into you. Good work. And again, we can do that with both arms, going full extension, or just less of a distance if you need to, or single arm, or alternating arms, whatever you need to do here to get this done. Good work. Make that one more here. Excellent. Okay, what we're going to do now is reach one hand across our body and then bring it around the best we can and then back into the middle. Then we take the other hand, come across our body and then reach it around the best we can. Almost like we're doing some grease lightning here. I won't sing for you. Not yet, anyway. We'll leave that for the Christmas special. Bringing it out and around. So across the body. Feel a bit of a stretch as you bring it out and around. the best we can. And again, if you can't do that full distance with that, if it's a shorter version, that's fine. Obviously, we're doing a single arm variation anyway on this. So if you're only able to use one side, just do the same on that same side the whole time. You guys are doing really well. They're the ones that I can see, and I'm sure those who I can't see are doing it just as well, if not better. Good work. Let's bring this one into the end here. And we're going to do something similar on the next one, but instead of coming in front of us, we're going to come over to the side and then come up and over the top. So then we'll bring the other hand to the side and then up and over the top. Now, if you can't bring it up and over, just do the same as what we did in the last one, but just slightly elevated version of it. So just bring it up as high as you can. It's just going to shift that stretch slightly as we go through this movement. Good work. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to bring one arm, and we're just going to go straight over with the one arm over to one side. Feel a little bit of a stretch, and then bring it back, and then over to the other side. And again, we've got some options here for you. So if you can bring the arm up and over, that's great. But if you can't, we can bring it up and across slightly, or just bringing it straight across the body. Essentially, what we want to do here is reach over, feel that stretch, whether that's higher or lower the arm, and then over to the other side. And with this as well, let's just introduce a bit more of a pause. So as we reach over, just hold it there for 1, 2, 3, and then bring it over. And I'll let you count in your own time, but just over 1, 2, 3, bring it back when you've counted to 3, and then repeat over to the other side. And I said, I'll let you count from now on, however long it feels like 3 seconds is at least. Just making sure we get a good stretch in there if we're able to get into that position. But if you're not able to get up and over, again, we can do that same thing across the body and holding it for 3 seconds or even lower down. Essentially, we're just testing our range of motion a little bit here. Getting a little bit of stretch in there. It's going to help with our flexibility, help with our range of motion. Looking good. Okay, we're going to move on to the next stretch here, which is where you bring both arms back if you're able to, and then reach them forwards the best you can. Now I've got some variations here as well because I need a variation on this one as well. So the next one is bringing it back, and then you can just bring one arm forwards and then bringing it back and then swap over to the other arm. I generally go for this one because it's a little bit tricky for me with the reaching forwards with my level of injury. Not able to support myself, but I know some of you are able to. So if you can, go ahead and do that. And I know that I like to put my arm on my lap, but you can use your desk as well. If you want to do both arms together, you can reach forward, reach back. So I'm just using the counter here, but I know a lot of you have a desk in front of you where you're laptop or phone sat, so you can always use that as a bit of assistance as well. Good. And again, feel the stretch as you bring those arms back. Let me turn to the side as well so I can show you. So as I bring it back, I'm trying to bring it back really far here, get a good stretch across that chest. And as I come forwards, I'm really trying to reach forwards, show on that arm as well. Bring that shoulder forwards in the joint there. And then bringing it back and just repeating through. Good work. Let's bring ourselves into the middle here. We're going to keep our elbows tucked in nice and tight. Bring the hands out to the side and then bring them back in again. It's going to do a little bit of stretch in the rotator cuffs. So this is option number one, or if you're able to, you can always bring the elbows up higher and rotate round. The same thing, but essentially our elbows are tucked in here and they're going parallel to the floor. And then here, they're going parallel to each other. But it's the same essential thing here, but one's just a little bit easier if you can't hold those arms out to the side. Good work. Okay, let's go back into some shoulder rotations again. And maybe notice any difference in how easy it is maybe to rotate them round. We've done a little bit of stretching. We did some mobility work, so it should feel just a little bit easier to rotate. It may feel a little bit tired, a little bit stretched, but maybe it's feeling just a little bit easier just to get this moving. That's what this is all about, getting those shoulders moving. Let's change direction. And I know for myself, apart from like the real extreme ends of the range of the motion here, it definitely feels a lot smoother moving them around here, which is exactly what we're aiming for. Good. Well, let's give ourselves a little shake off there and we can have a hydration break if you need it. I'm going to quickly grab mine and then we're going to go on to our neck and the rest of our spine too. Nice work so far. Good. Alrighty, let's move on to our neck first of all here. I do apologize if I did have a shave, so it might not go in as much, but sometimes the beard likes to go in the microphone there. So if you hear anything, that's me. So let's just go through some neck mobility here by looking up, then looking down, and just going nice and gentle back and forth between the two. Nice fluid motion and under controlled. And I mentioned this last week, but when I say controlled, it doesn't necessarily mean slow. And it definitely doesn't mean fast. It just means that you're under control at every point of the motion. So a good way to sort of know if you're under control, if you try and stop, you'll be able to stop on the dime without moving through. Because if you're going really quick, you'd probably try and stop and then keep going for a couple more centimeters. So you want to be fully in control all the way down, all the way up, but also keeping it nice and fluid. So sometimes when we try too much to do a movement, it can be quite robotic. So just nice, fluid, gentle movements whilst under control. Good work. Okay, next time you find yourself looking down, let's hold that position and just let gravity take over in the neck here. So keep yourself sat up nice and straight, but just let your neck drop down. And And just relax into that position. Maybe even try and relax it a little bit more so the head curls over. We should be stretching out the back of our neck here. You might not feel too much in this area, but that's okay. We're just trying to give a little bit of a stretch in this rear of the neck. Let's move out of that nice and easy and relaxed. Looking up and down a couple of times just to bring ourselves out of it. And then when you're ready to, when you next look up, hold that position there looking up. Now we've got a few things here that can help you to increase this stretch. First of all is to keep the mouth closed as you do so. That's going to introduce a little bit more stretch down the front of the neck there. The next thing to do is put the hand on the sternum, which is the bone that connects the rib cages in the middle there, if you're not sure. And just gently pull down. So just push firmly on it, gently pull down, whilst you keep your mouth closed, looking up above your head. And it should look something like I'm doing. And I will come closer in case you can't see that far back as well. So looking up, hand on the sternum, gently pulling down. And I'm going to put it on the top of the sternum here as well. Good work. Let's ease out of that. Couple of looking up and downs. And let's go into our rotation next. So looking left, looking right. And again, nice and controlled, back and forth between the two. The best that you can do here. Excellent work. The next time you find yourself looking to the left, let's hold it there. So look over the left. And then if we want to increase this even further, we can take our left hand and put it on the right clavicle this time. So that's the little bone, the collarbone here, to the right of the sternum, because we're going to hold the right one, and just gently pull on the skin there, down, diagonally downwards towards the right armpit. So it's looking to the left, left hand on the right collarbone, gently pulling it down towards the right armpit. And that's just going to help increase that stretch. And if you can't feel that, just have a play around with different areas. You may need to put your hand in a different position until you do find it. Make sure you keep the mouth closed as well. That's also going to help to get that stretch there. You may even find looking to the side and looking slightly up with the mouth closed, hand on the clavicle. That's where you might find the stretch. Good. Let's ease out of it. Do a couple of lefts and rights again. And the next time you find yourself looking to the right, let's repeat on that side. So look to the right, take the right hand on the left collarbone, gently pulling it diagonally down towards the left armpit, keeping the mouth closed and finding that position that works for you. Yeah, let's ease out of it again. Couple of looking lefts and rights. And let's go into our lateral flexion. That's where we bring one ear to one shoulder, one ear to the other shoulder, and nice and gentle back and forth between the two. Nice control. Now you might find on this one, It's of all of them, it feels the tightest. And that's perfectly normal there to feel that way. Good. Okay, next time you find your left ear towards the left shoulder, let's hold it there and increase that stretch down the right side. So left ear to left shoulder, that's increasing the distance between the right ear and the right shoulder, creating that stretch. And if we want to take it further, we can take one hand down to the side, pull that arm down. That's going to help to pull that shoulder down, which is again going to increase that distance. And then some of you may find that you got two options here. One works better than the other. So you can either drop the hand straight down like so, or you can bring the hand behind you there. And that may just change the stretch slightly and work for you. I know some people prefer the hand behind the back. I personally prefer hand down by the side, but find what works for you here, especially if you've not done this before or you're unsure. Yeah, let's ease out of it. Do a couple of lefts and rights. And then next time you find the right ear on the right shoulder, let's hold it there. And again, we can either drop the left arm down or bring it behind us if you want to. If either of those don't work for you, you can keep the left hand on the lap still if it's already in a good stretch position there. But if you need that extra, you can bring that hand down or behind you. And then ease out of it. Come back around now as well. Good. Let's go through the rest of our spine here now. So if we're able to, we can go through some flexion extension. So curling down and then extending through. I like to use sort of the frame here, but kind of like I put my hands underneath my legs and use like the edge of the cushion almost. And that just helps me to pull through when I need to pull through and curl over when I need to curl over. But if you can't do that, you can use the frame or something on the side of the chair, or we can sit up straight and use our backrest so we can extend out there and flex down. And what I want you to focus on here is two different things or one thing in each position. So as we curl over, the key here is curling over. We don't want to just bend over. We want to curl over. Almost imagine like your spine is like a slinky here. We don't want to bend in one position. We want each vertebrae to just do a little bit so it all curls over the best it can. And we like to think of it like a shrimp or a prawn as it curls over, just like so. Then when we come through to the extension, again, it's extending and trying to almost arch it backwards like a high jumper going over a pole. So go back and forth between the two, nice controlled, arching the back as you come into extension, curling it forwards as you go into flexion, and back and forth between the two, nice and gentle. And again, if you can't use your arms here to help assist you pull you through or curl you over, you can use that backrest the best you can just to curl forwards and assist yourself back up, and then extend out as well and just go back and forth there. Good work, everybody. Let's go into some rotation now. So again, you can use your hands on your legs or wheelchair or whatever it is. Help yourself around to one side and then round to the other side, curling, oh, sorry, rotating it round. Nice and gentle and controlled. We don't want to really yank ourselves around here. Just nice, gentle movements back and forth. And again, you don't need to go a long way on this. A little bit goes a long way here. So whatever you can do to rotate round, do so and just go back and forth, nice and easy between the two movements. So that's just going to help to rotate that spine. Good work. Let's just do a little bit of a hold on one side. So when you find yourself to the left next, let's just hold it there for a little bit. And I just want you to breathe into it. So just imagine as you breathe in, it sort of maybe wants to try and come round a little bit. But as you breathe out, try and extend that spine through. Really try and get good range of motion on this and just do the best you can to hold that position. If you do need to relax out of it though, feel free to do so. But you'll naturally find that you can move a little bit further as you breathe out, and then it wants to sort of naturally come back a bit as you breathe in. Good, let's ease out of it. Over to the other side, so rotating to the right now. And again, you can breathe into it here. Good work. Okay, let's go into our lateral flexion now. That's where we go down to one side, down to the other. And we're trying to, again, curl over to the side. We don't want to just bend over. We want to try and curl over to the side. There's a subtle difference. But what that means is that each one of the vertebrae in our spines is just moving a little bit to assist us to go over, rather than one or two or even three doing all of the work. This spreads the load and helps us to mobilize all through the spine as well. And the more we do this, the more we have the ability to move all those vertebrae in unison, so they all work together. And that's going to help us through our daily life when we're doing things that we may reach for, extend for. We're just helping our spine to spread that load essentially all the way across it, rather than just having it in one place. And that's what helps to protect our spine for a long term. Good work. Let's go into some rotation like we're in a whirlpool now. I think when it comes to the spine, when most people have their back problems, I think most of it comes from people loading shopping into a car. And that's because they probably loaded up their bags a bit too much and they're putting their spine for a range of motion it's not used to doing with a load it's not used to holding. So what we do with these movements is at least try and tackle one side of that, which is making sure our spine is used to going through the range of motion. When it's used to getting right through the range of motion, it helps to strengthen it, even if we're not doing specific strengthening exercises. Let's change our direction. So even though we're not doing specific strengthening exercises here, although some of them do help strengthen, they are getting stronger just by allowing them to move and allowing them to go through the range of motion they're designed to. So the more we do these sort of movements, the stronger our spine gets, the more resilient it becomes, and the less likely we are to experience things like back pain, things like sciatica. And it just helps to just essentially give ourselves the best fighting chance possible in terms of protecting our spine, especially for us who are living a more seated lifestyle. We tend to not use our spines as much as we should. So just you taking it through the range of motion really helps. Good. Let's give it a little bit of a shake off there. And we'll have one more hydration break before we go into, well, the last two bits. It's not the last bit. We've got two little bits to go here in this session. Good. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to do a little bit of like kind of Tai Chi-esque movement. So what this is just nice, easy movements, linking our breathing in. We've kind of done stuff that is almost like this already, but this follows a more specific route. So when it comes to Tai Chi, there's a lot of feet movement that come with it, and that's why it's not technically Tai Chi, because it's not those specific movements, but it's similar with the arm movements anyway. So that's what we'll be doing. So to do this, let's first of all, let's ground ourselves again, bring our energy back into the center just by doing some nice deep breathing, going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just continue that there and just focus on the breathing in and breathing out. Try and shut out everything else and just focus on that breathing. Good. And as you breathe in, let's start to drift the hands up to around about shoulder height. And as you breathe out, relax them back down. And just continue that. So link the breath in with the raising of the hands as you breathe in, lowering them back down as you breathe out. And we don't really want to go above eye level here. We want to try and keep it sort of between eye level and shoulder level-ish. If you can, if you can't bring it up to shoulder level, just get to where you can on this. But try and feel like your arms and your breath are connected. So as you breathe in, that chest naturally wants to come up and out. As it does, and you're lifting those arms up. And as you breathe out, you're relaxing it back down. It's almost like, when you're in a hot tub, if you've ever experienced that, when you just let your arms just sort of relax and drift up and the bubbles sort of naturally lift them up to the surface. That's what I want that to feel like as you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you're pushing them back down again. Yeah, we're going to add a little bit of variation in here now. So the first one we breathe, as we just did, up to the front and then back down. But for the next one, we're going to come up to the left side with both hands. Come up to the left and then back down. This time we're going to go up to the right and back down. Then back to the middle and back down. So it's in the middle, to the left, then we go to the right, and then we come back to the middle. But in your own time, link it with that breath. And again, like before, it doesn't need to be slow. It just needs to be controlled. So as long as you're in full control all the way through the movement, that's what matters here. Good. Okay. We're going to introduce another little bit here, which is the next stage of it. So we're going to come straight up to the left side this time. So up to the left. But then what we're going to do is keep the right arm up and drop the left hand down, and almost like you're giving somebody a hug. So imagine there's something there that you're hugging. And you're going to come across the body like so. When you get to the other side, we're going to switch hands and then go back across again. Almost like you're dancing with somebody. Switch the hands again and then back over to the other side. Drop it back down and we go to the other side. I'm going to give you some more tips as we come through this as well to get this on point. So we bring both hands up to the right side. Right hand stays up around about eye level. So we don't want it higher than eye level. We want it around eye level. Left arm drops down to around about belly button level. And then we come across. When we get to the other side, we switch hand positions and then come back again. 1, and then we come 2. Switch again into number 3. And then back down to the left. Now, we are doing slow controlled movements whilst our arms are up, so you may find that your arms start to ache a little bit. If you need to take any breaks at any point, feel free to just bring it down, bring it back up. But we're going to go through that up to the left side now to go. So both hands up to the left. Right arm drops down and then comes across the body. 1, switches hands. 2, and 1 more, switching the hands again. 3, good work. Down to the right side and back up the right side as well. Left hand drops down, right arm stays up as it comes. 1. Keep the breathing going. Don't hold your breath too much. It can be quite tempting to do so here. 2, and into 3, across the body. Good. Let's do 1 more on each side. So come up to the left. Right arm drops down, left arm stays up, coming 1. Switching 2. Switching, and then 3. Good work, everybody. Keep that breathing going. Down to the right, back up to the right. Left arm drops down, right arm stays up. Coming 1. Switching hands, 2. Switching hands, 3. Good. All the way over. Dropping it down. Excellent work, everybody. Good. Alrighty, let's now just bring ourselves into the breathing again. Just nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And before we move on to the last bit of today's session, which is our meditation, we're just going to do some more shoulder rotations just because that last little bit can maybe just make the shoulders a little bit achy. You know, we're holding them up there for a while. So just giving a little bit of rotation, that's just going to send the blood to it, especially when we're linking our breathing with it. That's going to make sure it's nice, rich, oxygenated blood, feeding the muscles exactly what it needs to recover in this moment. It's nice, easy rotations round as you're breathing. And change direction. Yeah, let's bring that focus in now. So close your eyes if you haven't already. Start to relax those shoulders down and get yourself into a nice, comfortable position as we move into today's meditation. And what we're going to do here is a forest meditation. So those who have done these before, you know exactly what's coming with this. But for those who haven't, essentially what we're going to do is to use our different senses to try and make the best picture within our own mind of a forest scene. So, and I'm going to guide you through this as well. So don't worry about anything at the moment. Just try and focus on that breathing. That's going to help clear the mind of any thoughts or any distractions. And now what I want you to do is imagine almost like either curtains are being drawn so you can start to see this forest in front of you, or it just starts to open up. And I want you to just imagine a forest, whether it's one you've been to before, whether it's an amalgamation of ones you've been to, or just a completely made up one that you may have seen in pictures or just within your own mind. But just try and build the scene of this forest. Whether it's a redwood forest or rainforest, none of that matters. Just whatever it is personal to you, just try and picture it the best you can. And that's what we're using in this first sense here, our sense of sight. So we need to picture the forest as best you can. Notice what types of trees there are. Notice the trunks of the trees, maybe the texture on it, how tall they are, what the leaves are like, and start to notice other things as well, like what's like on the floor. Is there a path out in front of you? What are the bushes and more floor, the stuff that's on the floor? What is that like, the forest floor? Maybe notice as well, as I said already, the texture. Notice the colors, the green, the browns, whatever it may be. Notice the sky maybe peeking through the trees, the sunlight dancing on the leaves as it goes over the floor. Whatever it may be, picture that in your mind and just focus there on this scene. Really just trying to add depth. Each time you're there, every second, just trying to add more depth to the scene. Maybe there's some wildlife there as well. Maybe there's other people, friends, family, whatever it may be. Just trying to picture that scene the best we can, using as much as our mind's eye as we possibly can. Now, what I want you to do is to introduce the next sense here, which is our sense of sound. And just notice how the forest sounds, whether it's quiet and there's birds chirping, whether it's a bit noisier, maybe there's some wind rustling through the leaves. Again, this is totally unique to you, your experience. How does your forest sound in this moment? Keep the visuals there as you're doing so, but just enrich this scene now with that sound as well. Let it fill your mind and just really help you to increase the focus on this scene here. Now what we're going to do is to introduce another sense, and this one that we don't normally talk about as much, but our sense of temperature. So how does it feel in this environment? Are you feeling like it's cool? Maybe that breeze is cooling you down. Maybe it's warm. Maybe it's humid. Whatever it may be, just notice how the temperature is for you. Maybe it's just a nice, comfortable temperature. Maybe it's a little bit on the cooler side. Whatever it may be, it's your scene. Just imagine what it's like. And let's start to bring into another one here, our sense of smell. So just try and imagine what it smells like to be here, that earthy, woody smells. Maybe there's a smell of fresh pine. Maybe it's, well, whatever it may be for your forest scene. Just really try and enrich it here. Make the best that you can. And just do the best you can to envision this. Keep that visual up. Keep the sounds. Keep that temperature whilst we're starting to introduce the smells. Now what we do is introduce one last one here, which is our sense of touch. So whether you reach out and touch a tree branch, a tree trunk, whether it's a leaf, whether it's putting your hand on the ground, just try and imagine what it feels like to be there. Imagine running the leaves in between your fingers, holding a stick in your hand, whatever it is, trying to enrich that scene a little bit more and to help you to really envelop yourself in this scene. And what we're going to do is I just want you to keep that scene alive the best you can. All of those senses there, trying to visualize it the best that we can within our mind. I just want you to take yourself out of it for a second, just by noticing how you feel within yourself. Notice how relaxed your nervous system is, how relaxed your breathing is, your positioning. That is the main aim of this meditation here, is to put us in this state of almost ultimate relaxation. It's not quite sleeping where we'd be able to get good recovery in, but it's a really good way to recover our mind. And I'll come back to that in a bit, but so let's bring ourselves back to the scene again, picturing the sounds, the sights, the touch, all the things, the temperature, just really enveloping ourselves. And let's start to move ourselves through this scene, whether it's you're imagining yourself walking or using your wheelchair or just even gliding through it. Just start to notice how it is as you move through this scene, noticing the things go past you. Maybe there's things that are appearing that are in the forest, whether it's the forest that you know or whatever it may be. Just start to picture it in your mind. Notice how it is. As you move through it. Good. Okay, let's start to close down that scene now. So nice and gentle. Bring down all of the things we talked about. Bring down the touch, bring down the sounds, bring down the sights. Just nice, slowly bring it to your breathing again. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And in this moment, I'm just going to explain why we did that again. So the keep your breathing going, keep your eyes closed as well. And the reason we want that is to really bring down the nervous system. And it is such a fantastic and useful tool to be able to control your stress levels throughout the day. And this is such a good way to do it. Just to take yourself away from the scene, scenario, whatever you're in, and bring yourself into this position that you've created for yourself. And the more you do this, the more you'll be able to just get into it quicker. Obviously, we took a good 5 to 10 minutes there of bringing ourselves into the scene, but you can always do that quicker and quicker the more you do it. And that's just going to help you with whatever situation it may be, whether it's feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed, whatever it may be, you can bring yourself to that scene and help you to relax in that moment. And you'll notice how relaxed you are because the breathing's relaxed, the nervous system's right. You always feel like a weight's lifted off your shoulders as you get into that scene. And that's what we want there. Keeping the eyes closed still, keep the breathing going. Let's just thank ourselves for being here today in today's session. We spent the last hour here just going through some good range of motion, good breathing. And from what I could see, you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. So give yourself a pat on the back or a round of applause, however you want to do it. And as you do so, you can start to open up your eyes. You can bring yourself back to the room as we bring today's session to a close. And that is it for today. Thank you very much, everybody.